We're about to head into the building.
7 minutes until our meeting starts.
I just told Meg she's got the reins since she did all this research. Just let that on her, put that on her at the last minute.
This has been countless hours and years of planning to get ready for this one meeting.
Yep.
We're ready.
Ready as we're gonna be. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right. Wish us luck. Say hey, Clara.
Hello.
Hello. There you go. There. All right, go pick some wine berries. We'll show you what we're picking, guys. We're here on the side of the road picking some wine berries. It's a nice overcast day here in Virginia, and the berries are plentiful. They come out around July 4th, and that's what our channel is named after. But they're basically raspberries, but they originated in Japan. We'll get to that in a minute, but anyway, hey guys, welcome back. In case you missed episode 83, it was about 10 episodes back, we exclusively talked about building with our own lumber, and we also shared our house plans with you guys. I just wanted to take a sec for those of you that are new to the channel, or for those of you who have missed it, and just revisit, okay? So basically, we are owner builders, and we plan to build a 1,500 square foot home with our own hands. If that's not challenging enough, we want to mill all of our own wood for the project, everything. We'll not be purchasing one piece of wood for this house. We plan on selectively harvesting our wonderful, strong yellow poplar in our own forest and use it for structural and aesthetic or decorative components in the house. The house will be a stick-built single-story home and sit on a block stem wall. It'll be an off-grid home powered by solar and rest atop one of our mountains here in Southwest Virginia with 360-degree mountain views. It's gonna be beautiful. No engineered sheathing either. We're doing everything old school. We're doing the diagonal board bracing, and we're also doing real decks on the roof and the subfloor. So we're not using any OSB or plywood. Problem is, there's a bunch of red tape. We live in a county that adopts and enforces the Virginia statewide building code, and we want to respect that, but still build our home the way we want to. We want to get our way. Basically, we want to build our house by ourselves with our own lumber. Since we last talked about this, we've completed our house drawings ourselves and have compiled, Meg, how many pages was it? Like 6? A 7-page letter, which is really a research paper on the strength and safety of building with yellow poplar. Meg pretty much has a PhD in yellow poplar now. Building officials have the power to approve the use of an alternate building material. You just need to provide proof that the material being used is equally as strong and safe as the material it's replacing. That's what our 7-page letter proves, and we wanted to present it formally to the building official and see what kind of response we got. So we scheduled a meeting, and here's how it went. We literally just walked out. I haven't even spoken to Meg yet. We just walked out of the door, out of the office, and I don't even know how Meg feels right now. Meg, how do you feel?
Well, I'm not crying. I guess it's safe to say, like, we didn't get approval, but we didn't get turned down either. Things are kind of in a waiting pattern again. What's good to know is that our building inspector wants to work with us on this. He's on our side. He's going to try and make this happen for us. Mm-hmm. He said that in his time doing this job, he has not had a request like this.
No.
And so it's uncharted territory for him, and he totally understands where we're coming from, and
which is refreshing.
Yeah.
Really refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, he could have easily just said to us, rolled up our plans and said, sorry, no. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. He said that he talked to us about it for a long time, and he totally understands our perspective.
It was an hour long.
Yeah. We were in there an hour. And
we met for an hour.
He didn't have an answer for us.
That's not true.
Well,
guys, we actually, here's my perception. He basically told us that we can use our own lumber. They will respect the span charts of what we're proposing to them, but it needs to be graded. It sounds pretty positive to me. I'm optimistic. Yeah. I feel good about it. This guy is a good dude, and he's willing to work with us. He understands what we're trying to do, our goals, and just our ambition for this project. So it's good news, guys. And we can start work on the foundation. All the block work can be done up to the first sill plate with a contingency that the lumber will be graded before we start framing. So, because I told them winter is coming, and we want to get this construction done for the foundation. That's a lot of work we have to do, the two of us. So that's good. They're willing to work with us to have the plan and have a real building permit with the contingency we're going to get our wood graded, and then that time would come and we'd get it graded. Then we could start in the spring as far as laying the boards.
Yeah.
So good things, guys. This is really, I think it's good news. I think this guy's going to find a way for us to get this done.
I hope so.
I'm really proud of Meg. She worked her butt off to do all this.
Even though a lot of my research didn't really play into decision making at all. At least it gave me confidence doing all of that research that we're using a product that is going to be strong.
And the way he explained it to us, why they're so by the book, I understand it. Not everybody's going to agree with it, but realistically, guys, people move around a lot. People sell land, they sell their assets, things like that. All the county is really trying to do is make sure that when we build a structure, if we were to leave that, they want to make sure that it's safe enough for the next resident who would purchase it or who would inherit it to have a safe home to live in. Otherwise, it diminishes the property value in their county. So I can see where they're coming from.
Overall, it was a good meeting.
I'm pleased. A big question of are they willing to work with us has been answered, and the answer is yes. We just have to make sure that they're happy with what they need to be satisfied with, the information and the proof of what we're building is going to be structurally sound. And he kind of winked at me and said it's going to be a strong house, but they just need liability purposes to make sure that it is in best interest for the property, the parcel, not just us.
So after our meeting, we felt like we had gotten somewhere, but we also kind of felt like we were in the same place, because we found that we could use the yellow poplar, which is awesome, but it obviously needs to be graded and stamped, and there's no way around that. While the inspector was looking into things on his end, I decided to also look into things on our end as well. And I had anticipated that this was going to happen, that we would get approval, but it would have to be stamped. That's what I kind of anticipated the outcome of our meeting. And I was right. So before our meeting, I had investigated the best way to get the wood graded. And the first company that I reached out to see if we could get it graded was Timber Products. And their response to me was, no, we can't grade yellow poplar. For that, you would have to contact NHLA, which is the National Hardwood Lumber Association. Now, NHLA, when I contacted them, said, yes, we can definitely grade your wood for you. However, they weren't confident that our building official would accept their grades. So there was really kind of a gray area. And that's where things kind of got sticky and a bit confusing, and where I had to kind of educate myself extensively on how wood is graded. So I'll try to break it down to you as simply as possible. All wood species are classified as a hardwood or softwood. And in general, the softwoods are evergreen trees and have needles, like a pine tree would or a spruce tree. And hardwoods generally have what you would consider a leaf, like an oak tree. So the classification of hardwood and softwood doesn't necessarily have to do with how hard or soft the wood is. It has to do with their leaves. And because of that, some trees that are classified as hardwoods, like yellow poplar, are just as soft as a pine tree. Traditionally, softwood is used in buildings and for construction use, whereas hardwoods are used in more furniture or hardwood flooring. So they have different end uses, and because of this, their grading rules are different. Both gradings are done by a visual inspection of all four sides of the wood, but they have a different end result. One is trying to determine how structurally sound the wood is. The other is trying to determine how visually pleasing the wood is. So both types of wood have their own grading systems, although both grading systems are based on a visual inspection of the wood by looking at all four sides of it. But you're looking at the knots and such, the types of defects in the wood when you look at it visually. But the soft woods, you're looking for those knots to be not there so that it's a strong piece of wood, and for hardwoods, you're looking for those knots not to be there because you don't want to look at them. So the problem is, yellow poplar is classified as a hardwood even though it's soft, and we are asking for it to be graded as a softwood. And to try and find someone that will grade it as a softwood, even though it's a hardwood, is difficult to do. So since when I reached out to Timber Products, they told me they can't grade our wood because it's a hardwood. We presented that to our building inspector and said, hey, NHLA, the Hardwood Association, said they can grade the wood, but it would be on hardwood standards. We said to our building inspector, would you approve those grades? And while he was checking to see if that would be allowed, because he wasn't familiar with it, he said that what we are presenting to him, wanting to use our own wood, he's never had anyone request before. So this is new territory for him. He needed to dig deeper to see if he could allow those grades. So as we were waiting for our inspector to look into whether or not he could approve those grades, I wanted to look into it deeper and see if I could find someone to grade it as a softwood, because I was afraid we were going to get a no. In the code book, under the span tables for the floor joists, ceiling joists, and roof rafters, it says for other species of wood that aren't in the code book to reference the AWC STJR. Of course, I had to look up what that is. It's the American Wood Council span tables for joists and rafters. It is a supplement to the code book that gives all the other species of wood. I went to that book to try and find out who can grade this wood. Someone has to be able to grade this wood. So, in the back of the book, I found information about different sets of rules for different species of wood. And not only that, but who is allowed to follow those rules. There's a lot of rules when it comes to different lumber agencies and who's allowed to do what and who's allowed to follow what rules. And who's in charge of that is the American Lumber Standards Committee. So I figured that would be a good place to start my search. Well, restart my search. I contacted them, and let me just say, the lumber industry as a whole is awesome. I've probably talked to 15 people on the phone or through email, and all of them have been incredibly helpful in trying to get us the answers that we need. And it's kind of blown me away. So the American Lumber Standards Committee is where I started, and I talked with them for over 20 minutes on the phone about our situation, what we're trying to do, and they said, yes, this can be done. And he gave me a list of the agencies that are allowed to grade yellow poplar. And he told me that the rules that need to be followed to grade yellow poplar are the NELMA rules. And NELMA is the Northeast Lumber Manufacturers Association. They created the rules to be able to grade yellow poplar, and they can use those rules to grade, and then there's other agencies that are also accredited to use those rules to grade. So he gave me a list of the places I can contact, including, what do you know, Timber Products. So I was going to contact them, but he said, first, contact NELMA themselves. They should be able to do it. So I reached out to them, and they said, we'd love to do it for you. However, you're not in our territory. They do New England, New York, and the Great Lakes states. So they don't come down as far as Virginia. So even though NELMA told me they can't do it because we're out of their territory, that was still really good news, because it let me know, okay, that it does exist, that there are people that can do this. Just have to find someone who's willing to do Virginia. So I reached out to the contact he gave me at Timber Products directly, and they said, yes, we would be happy to grade your wood for you. We can definitely do that. So whoever I spoke to originally at Timber Products wasn't educated in what we're trying to do, and no problem with her. I totally get it. I've been told by a number of people, higher ups in the lumber business, that said there's no way you're going to get yellow poplar graded. And now, after many phone calls and emails, I found someone who will do it. And it's just that what we are trying to do is so rare, and it's sad that it's rare, honestly, but it's so rare that people who have been in the industry for a long time don't know that it can be done. And that's why we hit a lot of hurdles and walls trying to find a way to do this, because it just doesn't come along often. So people don't know the right answers. But if you are in our shoes and trying to do this maybe with another type of wood, contact the American Lumber Standards Committee. That is the best resource for trying to find an answer to these questions. And the NELMA rules that are going to be used to grade our wood, they are for all wood species, as far as I understand. So they're a standard that can be used regardless of hardwood, softwood, and it is for structural use. So that'll be great. The other really important part of our meeting was obviously the drawings that I had spent countless hours on. And now I really understand why engineers and architects get paid so much, because teaching yourself how to design a house following the code is quite a task. But we did it, and I was so thrilled when the building official only had very minor changes for us. The only changes that he had were our master bedroom door was not large enough. It's required to be 36 inches, so we had to make that larger. We had it at 28. I had to show the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Those were on my electrical drawing, which isn't required for permit, so I didn't know it needed to be on the permit drawings. We added those. Details of the deck. I didn't have details of where those piers were going to be. Those needed to be shown. And we had to show that our windows in the bathrooms were tempered. Those are the only things I missed on the drawings. Yeah.
Good job, Meg. That's my girl.
So our building official said that if we made those changes to the drawings, they would be accepted. So now where do we stand? Right now, we are waiting on an email back from our building official. We needed to clear up 3 things with him. That one, the Timber Products grades would be accepted by him. That our wood used in the subfloor, the roof deck, and our wall sheathing on the exterior would be accepted without a grade. We had a little bit of a gray area with that he thought that they had to be graded, but then I confirmed with grading agencies that 1-inch dimensional lumber is not graded. So getting that graded just doesn't happen. So and we want to be able to use cedar for our outdoor decks. That should be approved as well. Once those 3 things are cleared up, we will be submitting our drawings and hopefully getting our official permit to start.
Very good news, guys. Meg did an awesome job. She is the brains behind the operation. I'm just the idiot with a key to a skid steer and tractor. Now, I mean, I come up with some good ideas, but some of those ideas and some things that are coming really soon on this channel are going to be concerning the sawmill. The sawmill is going to get a concrete pad so that everything is nice and level. First of all, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna build this entire house with a Harbor Freight sawmill. And if you don't think it can be done, just watch and you'll see how it's done. That sawmill is going to get computerized. I'm gonna put a CNC motor on it. What else, Meg? It's also gonna get an extension on its rails, because right now it can only cut up to a 9.5 foot board, and our rafters
we have to do up to
longer.
19 feet.
Yep, so we're gonna get some angle iron. We're gonna redo the rails on that machine, so a lot is going to be done, and we're also going to set up some drying processes. So there's more than just road building and getting gravel and stuff like that. We're going to be clearing ground really soon, but ultimately our goal here is to get our foundation poured and complete before it gets cold, and then we can be cutting and cutting and cutting through the colder months and let that wood dry, so that come springtime we could start putting some nails to the boards and get this project done.
Lots to come. Hope you'll join us.
Whew, lots, guys. I'm tired already, but
we have a lot of wood to cut. Hey, just a shout out, a lot of you reached out and wished us luck on Wednesday, and a lot of you were impatient to find out results. And
I know, guys, it gave us a warm and fuzzy before we were going in there, because we not only had to get this approval for ourselves, but we didn't want to let you down either. And yeah, it'll be just so much more exciting. Just like old school style, build a house from the forest. And
it's really awesome to know that we have a whole army behind us cheering us on.
Yeah, thanks guys, we appreciate it. We will see you here next week. Take care, guys. Let's go. Are we gonna go back now?
Well, we need to go somewhere else. There's no more wineberries right here.
Dad, can you pick me up?
Did I kill that scene? Please tell me it was recording. It was.
This wood.
There. Here, let's get in here somewhere. That doesn't work.
What are we talking about?
Okay, I have to crouch down a little so I'm in the scene here too. So I'm extremely, huh?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you were about to say how proud of you were.
Yeah. There. Okay, guys, I'm extremely proud of this human being. Was that sweaty?
No.
No.
Surprisingly.
It's a little moist out here. It's Meg's favorite word.